Hi there, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Welcome to my 12 Days of Christmas DIYs and Decor series. If you can't get out to the thrift store, forage around in your home or ask friends and family for items that they're no longer using. This is something that my mom gave to me and she asked me to do something with it. So I decided to take some flat black spray paint and give it a couple of coats all over and then let that dry. I used flat black spray paint and now I'm just going over the top portion with silver hammered metal finish. It turned out really cute. This next project is super easy. You're going to use a jar. Any type of jar will work. I just happen to have this one from a thrift flip a while ago. I did go to my Cricut Joy and cut out some stickers, but you can very easily find letter stickers and dog bones. So this is going to be a dog treat jar. So what I'm going to do is just put on the letters for dog treats. I'm going to add some bones, I'm going to add some paw prints, and then I'm going to embellish it a little bit. So it's a super easy craft to do and it will be perfect for the dog lover. Then I just took a paint pen and I wrote in the names of two dogs that I know in just a really fun font. So as you can see here, I'm doing this in real time. I take my time doing letters to make sure that I get them nice and straight and that they're all the same size. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to add some little dots on the letters to make them look a little bit more cutesy, like paw prints. For the lid, I'm just going to take some twine and just wrap it around the knob at the top and then tie it off in a cute little bow. Then I decided just to make some little embellishments on the paws and the bones. So I'm just going to put little circles in the little footprints and then just mimic the shape of the bottom part. And I'm also going to draw some lines in on the bones. I'm going to add some twine around the collar of the jar the same way I did the lid, but I'm not going to use a bow for this one. I'll just tie it off in a knot. This next project is using a wood tool caddy. Whenever I'm at the thrift store and I see these, I snatch them up because they can be used for so many neat projects. I'm going to leave this one the raw wood that it is, but I'm taking some Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the color charcoal, which is just a nice deep dark gray, and I'm going to go over it a lot with dry brushing. I want this to have a really dark deep effect, so I'm going to start with just some light dry brushing, but I'm going to deepen the color and go over it lots of times to get the color that I'm looking for. I'm going to do this for the whole crate, the inside, the sides, and even the handle. I like how the texture is looking on this. You can still see some of that wood peeking through. But because it's a really light wood, I'm going to be taking some black wax and going over the whole project. And that wax is going to soak into the wood. It's going to bring out more of a rich color for the wood that you can see peeking through. The product that I'm using is Bare. It's from Home Depot and it's just a decorative finish black wax. So using some stickers on white vinyl, and I did cut these out with my Cricut Joy, but again, really simple to find letters at the dollar store. They have stickers all over the place. You could also use a stencil for this, but I am going to put the words in brew, enjoy, empty, repeat. So I'm not putting this on as vinyl transfer. I'm just going to be putting it on as stickers. I'm going to add one of these bottle openers to the side of it, and once the wax cures in about a week or so, I'm going to give it a couple of clear coats of polyacrylic, which is a Minwax product in a matte clear finish. This next project I think will appeal to a lot of you out there. I'm going to show you how I take these two plates and make them into a tiered tray for less than $5. I found this wood piece. They came two in a pack for $2, so it was a buck. And I took it and cut it into two separate pieces. I'm taking this Americana gel stain in walnut and I'm going to just use the makeup sponge and wipe it on all of the wood pieces, making sure that I get into all the little cracks and crevices. It's going to blend in really well with these plates that I think are kind of a modern farmhouse kind of look. And I just bought the one set, but I have a feeling I'm going to be going back and getting another set of these plates because this is going to turn out really sweet. The easiest way for me to find the center is to take my wood piece, place it on the plate where I think the center is just by looking at it, and then I'm going to take my ruler and measure all the way around to make sure that I have it in the center, and it ends up being about 4¼ inches all the way around. Then I'm going to take my pencil and simply just draw a circle around the wood piece, so once I have the glue on, I can easily find the center. I'm using my favorite Weld Bond permanent glue. You can see the bottle laying down there. I'm almost out of that one. And I'm going to just put a nice thick layer on and then just place it right onto the circle and let it set. I did the same thing for the top plate, and now I'm just filling in the little markings that don't have any stain in them with a little brush. After about 20 minutes, the Weld Bond glue is pretty firm, so I'm able to go ahead and add glue to the bottom wood piece and then just set the smaller plate on top, eyeball it to make sure it's in the right spot, and then let it set up and harden. This last project isn't a thrift store flip, but it's really cute, so I wanted to add it in. And this will make a beautiful bag to put some of my gifts into. So I've got this drop cloth fabric, and this came from the Home Depot. It's a 4-foot by 15-foot piece for $20. I'm going to take my rotary cutter and just remove that hemmed edge there because I'm going to be using hot glue to put this together. The seam on the edge is too thick, so that's why I'm taking it off. I didn't measure the size of bag I wanted, I just eyeballed it, and it turns out to be about 3.5 feet. And I'm just folding it in half, so the folded half will be the bottom. Just thought it would make it so much more sturdy. And now I'm just going to hot glue the side seams together all the way to the top. I'm using the silicone makeup applicator to make sure that the hot glue is pushed firmly into the fabric, and that's going to bond the two pieces together really well. Now I'm going to be working on the top, and I want to create a hem. So I've put my mat in between the layers because I don't want the hot glue to stick to the bottom layer. And what I'm going to do is put a bead of hot glue and then fold it over. And again, using my little makeup applicator will make sure that those fabric pieces bond together really well. Once I get to the side pieces, I'm just going to fold the bag a different way, and then again, just hot glue, but making sure that I use enough glue to put all of those thicker pieces down and that they'll stay secure. You could leave the bag rounded, that would be totally fine, but I have decided to make a box pleat, which will give me a flat bottom bag. So I'm going to be taking the corner edges, folding them up to create a triangle, and then I'll hot glue those in place. Once that's dry, I'm going to put my bag right side out, go find my box pleat down at the bottom, and add a little bit more hot glue to join that edge a little bit better. Working at the top of the bag now, and it is right side out, I'm going to go in 6 inches from each edge and just make a mark. These are going to be for the handles. At first I thought I might just glue some handles on, but then I decided to use some of Dollar Tree's white nautical rope and some grommets that I picked up at Walmart. You can find grommets pretty much anywhere. The dollar store might carry them as well, but I also needed to make sure that I got the little grommet tool, which is what I'm going to need to put those into place. Now I'll be cutting a little hole because, of course, with a grommet, you don't want to have the fabric on the inside. So I'm taking my fabric scissors and I'm just pinching the fabric a little bit to make a hole. It doesn't have to be perfectly round. You just want to make sure that the grommet will actually fit through it. Now you'll need to flip your fabric over so the right side is facing down. And you'll put the circle of the grommet tool into where the hole would be. And then you're also going to then put the good side of the grommet on top of that little tool. Fit the fabric on top of the grommet and push it down into place. The next step is to take the little flat round piece of grommet and you push that around the original grommet on the other side. Then you put your tool right on top and whack it with your hammer until that little piece gets joined right into the big piece. If there are any sharp edges, you can just take your hammer and gently tap them down, and here you've got your grommet for your first hole. Before I put the handles on, I'm going to put a stencil on the front. So I'm just sticking a piece of poster board through to prevent bleeding onto the back of the fabric. I'm going to use this Farmers Market stencil and Folk Art multi-surface paint in black. Using a makeup sponge, I'm going to dip it into the paint, dab some off, and then pounce up and down on the stencil. This is a stencil from Joann Fabrics. It's from Hampton House, and it's their line of Jilly Bean soup stencils, and I do have that link down in my description box. Now that it's complete, I'm going to show you the reveal. This is always the best part. There were a couple of oopses. I realized down at the bottom that I'm missing part of the R. So there is a solid R, but you know what? It's a handmade item, and even when you buy things at the store, they're not always 100% perfect. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm planning on keeping this bag for myself because it turned out too cute to give away. Now I'll work on the handles while a paint is drying, and I'm taking this Dollar Tree nautical rope. It's the white cotton rope. I just love this for nautical designs, but also for some farmhouse. I've gone ahead and put some tape on the ends because they fray really super easy. I'm feeding it through. I'm going to tie it in a knot, and I'm going to do that for all 4 holes. And I think I'm going to put probably about a 6 to 8 inch handle on this. I've cut out a piece of cardboard that will fit the bottom of the bag, and I'm just going to put some drop cloth fabric on top of it and then place it inside the bag for a little extra sturdiness. I'm just using hot glue and my silicone applicator again just to make sure that the glue sticks really well. The last thing to do is to make sure these handles don't fray. This type of rope frays really easily, so I cut it really short, and then I take my hot glue gun, put a bead of glue, and then just kind of join all of those fibers together using the tip of my hot glue gun. It works really well. I'm just going to fit the cardboard into the bottom of the bag, and then it's all done. If you're still with me, thank you so much for watching. I know this video was a little longer than normal. I really appreciate your support. If you liked what you saw, I'd love for you to stick around a while. Hit that subscribe button. Those 2 black arrows will show you exactly where to click. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.